This is me, Craig Ferguson. I'm inviting you to come and see my brand new comedy hour. Well, it's about an hour and a half, and I don't have an opener because these guys cost money. But what I'm saying is I'll be on stage for a while. Anyway, come and see me live on the Pants on Fire tour in your region. Tickets are on sale now, and we'll be adding more as the tour continues throughout 2025 and beyond. For a full list of dates, go to thecraigfergusonshow.com. See you on the road, my dears. My name is Craig Ferguson. The name of this podcast is Joy. I talk to interesting people about what brings them happiness. My guest today is one of my favorite comedians. For my money, I think maybe the best live show I've ever seen one person do comedically. He's a one-off, an American treasure. He's Carrot Top. Enjoy. Do you know what I thought? First of all, can I just say how delighted I am? See, I haven't seen you in such a long time. I haven't been in Vegas. I haven't been out west. How are you?
I'm great. And I think it's funny. We talk about you all the time, literally, just all the time. We say, because there's a clip in my show right before the show starts with you. I'm on your show and I'm doing this to you. I don't know what I'm doing. We talk about Mike Tyson and I'm going like this and you're going like this. And it's hilarious. Just visually, it's hilarious.
Right.
You're in my thoughts every night you're in the show.
Well, I always like to talk about what a great show you put on because I remember going to see, I've seen you a few times, but I remember one night when you were doing a show in Hooters for a while. Is that right?
No, I might have just been out of Hooters. No,
there was the Hooters Casino. Wasn't the Hooters Casino for a while?
MGM Grand. Across from
MGM
Hooters.
Grand.
You were at Hooters. I was at the MGM Grand.
No, I remember now. We went to Hooters after the show. Yeah. We went to Hooters.
Just for wings. We went.
For wings, yeah. No, we went to Hooters. I remember because it was you, me, and Ron White. Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah, I just saw
That's
Ron.
Right.
I just saw Ron. My God, I just saw him a couple days ago.
One of the greatest comedians who've ever lived. Just amazing comic.
So Ron White comes to my show. And Ron, he's a character. So he comes back. He says, "Hey, man, you guys smoke some." I said, "You can't smoke weed back here." He says, "What's your address? I want to smoke some weed." I said, No, we can't smoke weed back here. So he says, "Let's go to this really nice, posh, upscale bar." Me and my friend, him and his girlfriend, and we're sitting there. We haven't even ordered drinks yet. And I hear, I smell weed. But I'm like, God, I said, someone's smoking weed. And Ron's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. And I'm like, Ron, you can't smoke weed in here. And he's like, well, what are they going to do? Throw Ron White and Carrot Top out of a fucking bar? And within seconds, they threw us out. And I said, yes, you can't do it. Ron Ron's those guys. He's like, I'm Ron White. I'm just going to do it. You can't smoke dope.
He is who he is, man. But how have you been is what I'm saying. I haven't seen you in a long time. I haven't seen you before COVID since I've seen you.
I think that's right. I think, COVID. That was about the time. It's been that many years. Yeah. I've been doing good. Yeah. We're still doing it every night at the Luxor. And not Hooters, at the Luxor every night.
No, I remember now. We went to Hooters afterwards. I remember because I said, I've never been to Hooters. And you were like, oh, we'll walk over and walk through it. I think we walked across the casino floor once and I was like, this is the most depressing fucking place I've ever been in my life. And then we went to somewhere else. I remember now. When I saw you in Vegas, which is the last time I saw you, the act was insanely energetic and very, very, very funny.
Oh, thank you.
Is it still as physical as it was? Are you still like bam, 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 pulling all the stuff through?
It's definitely not as funny. But it's
well, that's good. Yeah,
you came on a good night. No, it's always fast paced, and it kind of started. It started when I got working Vegas, which is strange because when I'd work on the road, I felt like the crowd would want to. I don't know. The pacing of it was different than in Vegas. It was like last night we had a show, and it was just. It's like they want to get out. They want to go somewhere, so they're there. They're excited to see you, and then they're like, how long is this going to go? So. I go so fast. People last night were saying to me after the show, like, how many jokes do you do per minute? I said, I never added it, but I said, my God, it's just one after another. I said, well, I'm always worried about one not working. So I go into the next one, but it's very fast paced. It's almost too fast paced.
It is. How long is the show you do?
About an hour and 25, something like that. 20 minutes.
I mean, that's a regular length show. Do you have an opener?
I have an opener. He gets the crowd going, and then I come up and I do my little thing, and then we all go home.
How long have you been there? It's like nearly 20 years, maybe.
Yeah, this Thanksgiving will be 20 years. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, 20 years.
Wow,
nuts.
That's nuts. Who's coming to see you? People that have seen you before. Do you have to keep changing it?
We have a lot of regulars that come. In fact, I would always say, how many people have seen the show before? And it's unbelievable how many people have seen the show before. And I always say the same thing, like, you came back? Like, it's weird. But they do like a lot of return visitors, and that's why you got to write so much. The jokes, even though Vegas feels always Vegas, you can probably get away with doing the same show for 10 years because it's always new audiences. And I'm like, it's not. You get the crowds are savvy, and they know a new bit, and they know that you're on top of something, whether it's political or whether it's pop culture. They talk about the Backstreet Boys who were just here last night. I see do a joke about, Beyonce was just here, so you kind of add in something with what's happening in the world too.
How is Vegas now over the last 20? Well, particularly since COVID. I haven't been since before COVID. I think is it changed a lot?
I mean, there's still, that's crazy. Yeah, it's if they keep building. My joke on my show is, how many hotels they need. You go to check in, they say your room's not ready. Oh, you cleaning it? No, we're building it. I mean, literally, it's just incredible. Now they want to build a baseball stadium. But I mean, it's Vegas. It's a crazy town. But still, it's doing great. Summer is always a little bit, 180 degrees out. So
yeah, it gets bad. What is it right now?
People come. It's amazing. Yeah. They come here in 200 degrees and they're just walking around outside. Like, I don't know where they're going, but then they get our room. They get air conditioning.
It's interesting to me, Vegas, because it kind of like, you can go to casinos anywhere in America now. It's not like you don't have to go to Vegas to gamble and stuff, but people still go.
But I'm there.
Yeah, but you could tour like a regular comedian instead of just sitting on your ass in one town.
Right. No, I think we talk about that all the time. What makes, you're right. You can gamble anywhere. You can gamble where you are right now in New England. You probably have a blackjack table in front of you right now.
I do. I have a casino and we have a brothel on the property too. I mean, it's everything is there.
But I think so they try to keep Vegas kind of a special place. It's not just because of gaming. They have the most incredible restaurants and
they do
all the celebrity chefs and it's like we're not even the main draw anymore. When you drive down the road, the billboards are chefs and the pool at Aria, and you still see some shows for comedians, but it's the restaurants and and injury lawyers.
Yeah, the ex-dentist guy.
Yeah, I mean, but they're all in Vegas. I mean, it's a weird place to have them, but
I don't know. It's kind of like, what drew you? I feel like I've talked to you about this before, but I don't know if it was actually just us talking or if it was on TV or something. But when you went there and started doing that, it's because you were tired of touring, right? It was just like you were sick of doing it.
I don't think I was sick of touring it. They just offered me. They offered me. Well, I had the MGM Grand for about 10 years, but it was an in and out kind of thing. It wasn't a full-time residency. I would do like 2 weeks, then I'd go on the road and do shows and come back and do 2 weeks.
Oh, right.
So I think I was there five times a year, but for 2 weeks at a time. So it was still they would call it was not a residency. Now, the one I have now is every night, 6 nights a week for 240 shows. So that's an actual residency. But it happened. I was doing the Vegas one, and then David Copperfield wanted the room full time, and of course, Copperfield Carrot Top. So I said, well, there I go. I think I had said something to the paper like, yeah, why'd you leave the MGM? I said, David Copperfield maybe disappear. And then he read it and said, why didn't Rick? You just like, Jesus, it's a joke. So they offered me the room at the Luxor, and there was nobody there yet. I was the only show at the Luxor. There was me and the buffet, and I said, well, this is a cool little room. And so we did it on a whim for like a year, and then I was thinking, I want to go back on the road. And then I said, well, I'll do another year, and then it finally turned into
time got away.
Where we are now, 20. So it's been an incredible run.
I've known you quite a long time. We worked together a little bit. You did bits on the show. I come and see you in Vegas, stuff like that. But I know really nothing about your life. And so I thought, I mean, I know you're from Florida and I know that your dad worked in NASA. That's all I know. So
That's all I
today
know.
I thought, well,
That's all I know.
it's kind of as though you remember, but it was interesting. So today I thought, I should find out more about Scott's personal life. I'm not to ask him about it, but just to know about it. And then I go on the internet and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So what I'm going to say, I'm not going to ask you anything about your personal life. I just want to know how you managed to keep it off the internet. It's unbelievable. Are you very kind of like, are you very reclusive in when you're in Vegas? Do you kind of go around in disguise or something?
No, I'm definitely not. I just go out, but I don't. I am one of those people. I try to stay out of trouble. I don't go out and do anything crazy. I'm never in the news for doing something. I don't go partying. I don't put myself in the situations. But it's true. Yeah, there's really not anything out there.
Which I think is
well,
great.
except just people that will come up with crazy crap, and that kind of shit.
But it's kind of interesting because I think that now with social media being what it is, because you and I both predate social media. Do you have a policy with phones in the show and stuff like that? Do people not allowed to use them?
I mean, they say not to, but people use them. They say put your stuff away, but I see people all the night filming and and I don't mind it. I mean, why not?
Well, it takes the gag away, though, if nothing else. I mean, if they blow a gag for you, or if you're doing a joke, which people would get annoyed at if it wasn't in the context of being in a comedy show.
Right. Well, that's true. That part is definitely true. Or you get one where they're just on a rant, like I forget who it was. It might have been George Lopez. He had lost it, told the crowd, and someone's filming him the whole time, like, F you and get out. And, and I was like, God, that sucks. So you always got to keep that in the back of your head, though.
Yeah,
someone's got a phone somewhere.
I kind of try and remember not to rant to the audience, but every now and again, I probably have done it. But it's kind of it's a weird thing though, because it never. Now, do you remember Michael Richards is the one I remember. Remember he did all that crazy stuff. Like, that's the first cancellation from that kind of thing as I remember.
I remember too. That was the first one I remember where it was just, horrible.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But it's kind of like with prop comedy and what is this? I don't even think it's fair to call it prop comedy what you do, because it's not just prop comedy. I mean, you write stuff. There's material there.
Sure.
And over the years, particularly a while ago, I think now I don't see much of it now, but you took a lot of heat back in the day for using props and stuff like that. Like angry, alcoholic comedians would be mean about you all the time. It's terrible. Did that get you down a bit?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's human, so it would bother me. And then I would go, and then I would hear like a George Carlin or someone that I respected, I'd go on your show and it would be awesome. And it would be validating, what I do, and so, but it hurt my feelings to a degree, unless my mom would say, consider the source. So if it was coming from someone, like you said, an angry comedian somewhere and living in a basement in Nebraska that's never done a show, as opposed to a stand-up comic that I respect and appreciate as a comic. But I would always, I got into the prop thing in the beginning to literally be unique and be genuine. That's why I did it.
Yeah,
I wanted to
something different.
Right. I didn't want to be the guy that was like, oh, he's taking, being another so-and-so. And so I thought I would get more respect and more love. Like, wow, this guy's doing something different. And then it turned out it would backfire because I was doing, not only doing props, but I was doing well. I was doing shows and I was doing big colleges, and everybody's like, how is this guy getting college? How is this guy getting on Regis and Kathy Lee? And I'm like, I don't know. I was just doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But did get to a point where, like, almost like, your parents, where they just go, I really don't give a shit anymore. And, I kind of hit that a long time ago where I just kind of was like, I could care less what people think. I always want what the audience cares to think and what, my friend, outside of that, it's my audience. If people stop coming, then, then you got to worry about it. But the people that come to the show love the show. I have fans that love me, and the people that don't love me don't come to the shows, so.
No, it's the funniest thing. I mean, you see people chase the tail with that. I remember seeing an interview with Chris Martin from Coldplay, because Coldplay get a lot of hate for the music they do from people who don't like Coldplay, obviously.
Right.
And they get a lot of people who love Coldplay. And he said,
Right.
well, I don't write songs for people who don't like Coldplay. I write songs for people who like Coldplay. And you go, of course you do. That makes perfect sense.
Exactly right. That's a great answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great answer. Yeah, I don't write songs for people that don't like Coldplay. I write for Coldplay.
Yeah, I'm the singer in Coldplay. I write the songs for Coldplay. Why would I try and
Yeah, that's brilliantly said, and that's kind of what I do. I write. I mean, but I do have a lot of stand up now on the show, which is kind of surprising to people unless they see the show live. We've been talking about this since Jay Leno days, where I would say I want to come out and do a set with no props. And Jay was fine with it. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's great." But the people but the people that would, the producers were like, freak out, like, no, you're Carrot Top. You have to do what you're known for. And I said, well, wouldn't it be fun? So anyway, they never let me do it. So I thought maybe it doesn't even have to be a whole special like Netflix, but just something maybe on YouTube. It's going to be, Carrot Propolis. And I literally come out and I'm just, for 20 minutes, I just tell these stories. And I think people would be like, I was sitting on a stool and just be funny. And people would be like, what? Because the live show has that element because you can't
I remember it.
You can't do that. Well, yeah, you've seen the show. It's even been years, but you can't do that rapid fire prop stuff for an hour and a half. You just can't.
No.
So you have to break
go crazy.
You have to come into like you and you start telling stories about your father at NASA and you start telling stories about, your idols in comedy and how you met them. And, people love that. They get dead silent. They can't wait to hear, Don Rickles told me to, get away from him. It was just.
He said that to everybody.
I was in a movie with him and Betty White. And I mean, it was unbelievable. Right. And I had to get in these prosthetics every morning. And I mean, early morning, 4:00 in the morning, I'd get there and they'd put on all these prosthetics and get me ready for the day of the movie. And Rickles would come in around, 8. And I've already been there 4 hours in the chair getting all my makeup on. And he would come in every morning, and he'd walk in the trailer and look over at me and go, "You still in this?" And for a month and a half every day, "You're still in this thing?" And finally I'm like, "Yes, I'm still in it." So I just saw him at a restaurant one night and I said, "I don't want to bother you." And he says, you are bothering me. Get away from me. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he says, "No, get over here." And he was just so. He was just so gracious and nice, and on the set.
He was lovely. Yeah, I became quite friendly with Don toward the last few years. I got friendly with Don, and he was a remarkable guy. The real kind of the opposite of what you think, and I feel like that happens so much in show business.
Yeah,
the late night did that to me. And you get that as well. You get people that you meet like. You're one of those guys. When I met you, I'm like, he's the nicest guy. And then I get you to see your show and I'm like, this is a great show. But it's kind of like, I remember one of the big ones I had was Larry King. I used to make fun of Larry King all the time. And then I met Larry King at the White House Correspondents' Dinner and we became like really close friends for the last like 10, 15 years of his life. It was just like friends. And he was a wonderful guy, and all the stuff that like jokes and stuff I tried to like get them expunged from history so he wouldn't see them. Do you ever do a joke about someone and then meet them and regret it?
Oh yeah. I don't, but I try not to get too mean and personal. But I have done.
No, you don't. No, that's true.
But still, like you would do a joke about Larry King, but I've done some about people, and then I meet them and I feel horrible that I made fun of them and they were, like you said, lovely people. But I never picked on anyone to the point where they were like I really just went after them in a mean way. I would something stupid. You call her Bed Bath and Beyonce, and then I meet her and she's like, "Did you call me Bed Bath and Beyonce?" Yes, but you know, it
That's
wasn't.
not bad. That's
No,
just
but
a
I mean, it
stupid
wasn't right
joke.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw you in the show and you called me Ben. I say, oh yeah, you know, but I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever. The only time I did do one, Mike Tyson, but I did, and I think I told this story. That was the one I told you on your show.
Oh, is that when we were doing
I
that?
had,
Is that what
yeah,
happened?
I had done this prop, and it ended up on everything, USA Today, and the cover of L.A. Times and ESPN, everywhere. Everywhere, everyone saw it, and it was so topical. It was a rubber headgear with ears on it, so his opponents could chew on him instead of his thing. And so I'm sitting at an award show, and Dennis Hopper sits down next to me. And Dennis Hopper, I'm like, oh my
I
God.
remember
And
Dennis.
I
Yeah.
say, and he's like me, self-doubt. He says, the first thing he says to me, I'm sorry you had to sit next to me, right? And I'm like, that's what I would say to you. You know, he's so nice. I said, I can't believe, you know, Dennis Hopper, my God. He goes, yeah, I'm sorry. Of all the people I had, you got me. I'm sorry. And I'm like, how sweet. All of a sudden, Mike Tyson walks up. And he goes, Mike. And he says to me, you know Mike? And I said, no. And it didn't dawn on me. You know, I had all these jokes about him. He comes off, they hug. He says, you know, Carrot Top? And he looks right, he gets right in my face, this close. And he says, you think that's funny? And I said, what? That thing you do, that the thing you do, it's funny with me. That made me, that hurt my feeling. And I said, no, it was just a joke. And he said, well, it's not a joke. And he started screaming at me like Mike Tyson was
Oh,
screaming.
no.
Remember that, you know, everyone has a feeling, that personal feeling, and that was really mean and disrespectful. You should never do that to somebody. And I said, it was just a joke. I apologize. And he goes, I'm just kidding. And he punched me so hard. I mean, just like that. And I'm still sore from it. I was like 9,
Yeah,
10,
no, it's just Mike
12 years
Tyson.
ago.
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was scary to me because I thought, oh God, of all things, don't pick on Ron White. I mean,
Yeah.
Tyson. I did with
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. Now Hulk Hogan just passed away,
He did, yeah.
and he was a really close friend of mine. I mean,
I never met him. I never met him at all.
but you know, this is great. So I do a show in Tampa. He lived in Florida, so I'm doing the show in Tampa. It's like a double-decker, beautiful theater, and the show's going great. But there's some guy yelling out. Just yelling. It wasn't heckling necessarily. He was just like, you know, they just try to, you know, hey, you're commenting, you know, I do a joke and yeah, right.
That's a great joke. Keep going. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that one. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
So it was just weird. The show got over, and I had said something. I said something like, I'm never mean, but I said, can you? I wrote this without you. I don't need your help. If I need you, I'll call on you. But thanks. And everybody's dead silent. They kind of thought the crowd turned on me, right? So anyway, the show's over. We go backstage, and they said, "Hey, you have some people here." And I said, "Okay." And they said, "Hulk Hogan's here." And I'm like, "Hulk Hogan?" And he comes walking in. He's like, "I was trying to yell at you the whole show to get your attention." I'm like, "That was you?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "I told you." I said, "I wonder why the crowd got quiet." The whole crowd looked back and it's like, "Oh shit, I'm not telling Hulk Hogan to shut the fuck up." So the whole crowd's like, I'm not telling him. And I'm like, just shut up, you dumb. And it's Hulk Hogan. So he thought he was helping. He's like, I was trying to get your attention. I was trying to say, you know, Scott.
See, I think that's the worst type of heckling. No, people are heckling and saying mean things to you. You can deal with that. You learn that on your first day. But it's when people who just don't have any clue about what you actually do.
No,
they're like going, that was great. And where did you get that prop? And it's like, wait, did you make that?
Yeah, they always, I don't know. And I always just go, right on. Okay. But there was a guy last night, and his right in the front row, he just kept saying, I got married. I said, oh, right on, to her. And I said, oh, what? Okay. And I said, when? And they're like, you know, yesterday. I'm like, well, great. I don't know what they wanted me to do for it, but it was that whole, so the whole show is revolved around that. I'm like, so we have any, so you guys just, well, you're still together. That's good. You know, and you get married today and you come to a Carrot Top show. What is wrong with you? Like,
well, you know, it's a good show, but I got to say, if I was getting, you know, it's a good show. I don't want to be negative about your show. It's a good show. And you know what? If I ever get married again, that's going to be my honeymoon treat.
Yes,
it's going to come
okay.
say, yeah. That's why I was going to say that's why I'll never get married again. But that's actually a mean thing to say. That's a mean thing to say.
That's why I'm never going to get married again. Never going to get married again.
No. Have you ever been married? I can't find out on the internet.
No. Okay.
No.
I mean, no, I just never, it's not in my cards. I mean, my whole life I
don't know. It's just, you live for that long in Las Vegas. If I lived in Las Vegas for 20 years, I'd be married like 20 times. A day,
I know.
probably.
But
It's nuts.
smart guy. See,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I kind of go the Bill Maher kind of. People always ask him, and he gets kind of testy. They'll say, "Well, you're 70 and you've never had kids and you're single. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And he says, "Absolutely nothing. I'm smart." Like it's like everyone doesn't have to get the house with the kid and the wife that gets
Absolutely agree.
and that's always
You're
been
allowed to live the life you want to live.
that's
Yeah,
always been
absolutely.
that's always been my thing. I wasn't really against marriage. I was just against just I'm so I'm not a and you too probably you're not a you were when you had your show more you're more structured because you had to be at your show every day. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
But as a
Structural.
stand-up comic, maybe here I'm more structured because of the show I have here. I have to be ready for it every night at a certain time.
Right.
But comics in general aren't like structured. We just go, we get in the car, we go to the next gig, we go here, we go eat, we go with comics, we go out to dinner, and then we go to the next show, we go home, go to sleep, get up and do it again. And girlfriend's like, where are you? I'm at fucking work. What do you mean, where am I?
Yeah.
So that would always annoy me. Like, where are you? I'm getting ready to go on at the show, and the show's over. Where are you? I'm just got done. I'm in this, like, that would be annoying to me. I would like to have, I just like yes men. I like people just.
I think that also, it's true. And I think I've been guilty of this in my life, that I will say to someone, why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you do that? But the truth is, and I really do believe this, you're allowed to live the life you want to live. I mean, I don't have to. No, I will say the one thing about when you said Bill gets testy when people ask him. To be fair, I know Bill pretty well, and he was testy before they asked him. He was
yes.
he was testy when he woke up.
Yeah.
But he's another interesting stand-up, Bill Maher, actually. I don't think people realize how he's really good. He's really interesting. And, like a live show with Bill is an interesting thing to see.
I just saw him at the MGM where I played back not even a month ago or so. It was phenomenal. I mean, he's a great stand-up, and he said it was his last. That's why he invited me out. He said for his last stand, and so I think, no, you're not. Like your final farewell tour, you'll be back. He said, no, this is it. So,
maybe
he just wanted to not do stand-up anymore. So I was like, okay, I had to go see it, to say this is the last one. But it was great.
I've given it up a couple of times. Yeah. Didn't Ron White retire a couple of times as well? Ron's retired a couple of times.
Ron White retired, and came back again.
Have you ever retired?
Only in the early days when I just couldn't get it together, couldn't get gigs lined up, so I quit, got back into it.
So you did the retirement first.
I did.
Like I couldn't get anywhere. Yeah. It's funny. Do you miss the old? I mean, I still think about it a little bit. Like in the old days when I was doing stand up in clubs and stuff. For me, it was in the UK, but the kind of the wildness of it was kind of different to the way it is now. I think that, younger comics, they do a lot of their work online and they do a lot of their work. I mean, which is just a different way of doing it. It's not better or worse, but I feel like maybe they don't get quite the wild nights that maybe people of our generation got. You go and do a show like at 2:00 in the morning somewhere and stuff. It'd be nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about these young comics. Do they get a chance to have, like, a lot of them, like internet, like you would say, the social internet stars of today? There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, like, if I went to go see them, like, how would that be differently? Like, have they done shows in clubs where they got their, or they're just talking to a camera? I mean, it's probably a different thing. I think
it's a different skill for sure. I think some of them do and some of them don't. I mean, I've talked to a lot of the guys that I've talked to, younger guys, not necessarily super young, but younger. They do podcasts like Are You Garbage or Being Ian with Jordan, and those podcasts that these they're people maybe in their 30s, mid to late 30s, and they're real comics. They're good at, but they they'll do the Village Underground or Comedy Cellar, or they do clubs and stuff. They're real comics and they're really good. But I think some of the real younger ones, all they want to do is the
right. Yeah.
the social media stuff.
Right. Why go to a club? Right.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, do you do it? I mean, I don't really, I have, I mean, obviously people put stuff on Instagram and Twitter and stuff for me, but I pay them to do it. I don't do it. Do you have,
I have people do it, but I also, if I come up with something like, just like I was just in home in Orlando a week ago, if something happens funny, like on my day, personal day, I'll post it, and people can always tell the ones that I do for me and the ones that my people post, like
yeah, I'm
a
sure they
business
can.
one. But I was just on a plane. I thought this was great. We the lady comes on. She says, hello, morning, everybody. Welcome aboard. We have someone with the peanut allergy on the airplane, so we were wondering if everyone could be so nice as to, if you have anything with peanuts, we would appreciate you not opening them. And the person with the peanut allergy would really appreciate it. It was kind of a weird, quiet over the plane. And this guy next to me, and I want to say, just for reference, is literally the cable guy kind of guy.
Got it.
Just him, big guy with his beard and his hat. He reached down and grabbed a bag of peanut M&Ms, and he ripped it open, and he looked over. I swear he looked right over at me. He goes, "It'll be all right." Oh, and I just thought, and I just started laughing. I said, "That's hilarious." So I get my book out and I start writing. He says, "Is that going in your show?" And I said, "Yeah, that's great." And he says, you're not gonna tell him it's me, right?" And I say, "No." So I got my phone. I said, "Well, now I can get your picture. I'll add it." It was just so funny. This guy was just brilliant. It's like, "It'll be all right."
Be all right. Be all right. It's funny though that with social media, I kind of like, I used to do what you do. Like I'd go in it and I'd but I'd do it personally and I had other people do it. But I found out that if I have the Instagram app, I'm so addictive as a person. I'm in it. I just go in it.
Yeah.
So I'm too addicted for all of that stuff. I just can't do it. There's only one addiction that I've never kind of grabbed me. And it was, weirdly enough, gambling. I have no interest in gambling. Never touched it.
Same.
Never been anywhere near it.
Same. Isn't that strange? All the years that you and I both have worked in casinos, my life is Vegas. People always say, "How do you do that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, how do you?" I said, "I don't gamble." I'm like, "You don't ever?" I'm like, "Never."
Never.
I don't want to be around smoke. I don't want to be around people.
Yeah.
I don't like counting under pressure.
Yeah, I thought it's funny. I've tried it a couple of times.
Is that
I went 9 and 5.
I hate that. I hate that. And they're all like,
no.
hit that. I'm like, "Am I supposed to?" And like, you don't know how to play. I'm like, "No, no, can't do it."
I tried it a couple of times and it bores me. It just bores me.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. You got other ways to lose money. Agreed.
Yeah, and I feel like as well, if you are a performer, look, the truth is, if you're anybody, but I think a performer, you're very aware of it. There's enough gamble just being a person. That's the odds are. Yeah.
Just being a person and alive.
Yeah, just like walking around. It's all that. So you got in Vegas, I guess it would have happened in the last 20 years. You get super into like going to the gym. You changed your body a lot, didn't you? I mean, I see you like you're really ripped and you have been for a long time. Was that a thing because you were in Vegas and because you were free during the day and stuff like that?
Kind of two things. I started working out when I was 12 or 13 years old. I was on the wrestling team.
Really? As young? I didn't know it was as young as that.
I was a swimmer and I got on the wrestling team at like 14 and we had to lift weights and I was like, "I'm gonna lift weights." And swimming and wrestling. And then, so I was always an athlete to a degree. And then when I got into comedy, I just started, when I was on the road, really, I started bringing my own weights. All my opening acts that would remember, I did this. I'd bring my own little weights and put them in my truck when I drove. So I get to the gig, I would sit in the parking lot and do like just some little workout. And I've always been, go back and look from 1985, whatever it was. And then when I got to Vegas, I literally had all day. There was nothing, so I'm not going to just sit in my, so I started going to the gym a little bit more. And I probably put on I got a little crazy into it. And then it was like a year of it. And I was like, yeah, what am I doing? I'm not a workout guy. I'm a workout guy, but I'm not a bodybuilder. So I completely stopped again. And so I people always say, "I thought you were bigger." No, I'm always been the same pretty much I weigh 158. People think I weigh 200 pounds because I have a huge cock. But other than that, it's just
Well,
it's
I mean, but you take it off. When
I
the people
do.
don't know,
I take
it's a strap on. It's part of the show.
right.
It's part
They
of the
don't know. They
show.
don't know that. They don't know that.
They don't know that it's a 50-pound strap on penis.
No. I mean, they eventually know, and that's how could I just still be single?
Well, let me ask you this. You keep it fit. Is it, I can't remember it. I don't remember being offended by a single thing you did, but is it clean, the show? I can't remember.
I mean, mostly, yeah. I mean, it really is. I'm trying
Yeah.
to. I mean, it's all silly. I mean, there's a couple things that can be innuendoed, I think, but no, it's not. It's a clean show, absolutely. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, but I guess
I talk
you're
about
Vegas.
flying and talk about, it's no. I'm trying to think of the dirtiest
Yeah.
joke I have. I don't even know if I have like the dirtiest joke I have. I had one. I had one. Well, I had one. I might have done on your show, and I think when I did it, you guys let me do it. I'll tell you the joke. So,
All right.
when I did the Tonight Show, it was a podium for the presidential seal on it, and it had these bells like true false, and I'd have buttons that would control it, and I would do. It was Clinton back then, so I'd say,
Yeah,
I would do
yeah.
that.
I think I remember this.
I did not have, and it'd go, I did not, and then Hillary, ding ding, it killed. So at the end, though, I needed to have a punchline because that was funny, but it needed a big
All right.
bang again. So I would do the whole Clinton. And it was a good Clinton. It was good, and then all of a sudden, I hit a foot pedal, and this Monica Lewinsky head would come up
Oh my
just
God.
below the
Yes.
and I'd
Yeah.
go, not now. And I'd go back to the bit. Well, that was the end, killed. So I go on the Leno, and this is great because I'm rehearsing it. I show the lady, the standards and practices lady who loved me and also hated me. She gets up, we get done with the whole thing, and she walks over and she's like, "You're good." And I'm like, "Honestly?" She goes, "Yes." It's even the podium. She goes, "Yeah." So I'm all excited. I'm back in the dressing room, getting ready, and she comes in like a minute before the show starts, and she goes, "Everything's good, but you can't. You can't do it at the podium. You can't put her head down."
Do the head thing. Yeah, right.
What the heck could come up? I just couldn't put my hand and put it down.
It can come up, but it can't go down?
Yeah. So I said, so I go to the prop guys. I'm like, can you make it where it can get, when I push it up, it'll go back down? And they're like, they looked at it. I mean, I made it myself, and it wouldn't work. So I go on, and just don't use your hand to push it down. So I'm doing the joke. It's fucking killing. The whole thing. The head comes up. The crowd goes nuts, and I just use my elbow.
Right.
Because it had to go down. Like I couldn't just.
Right,
It was like I laugh, but where's the big laugh? So I went like that. Not now. And then it killed. And I get over, and she comes. But now I'm in trouble. Not trouble, but she said we have to edit it now on the East Coast because I'm like, why did you? I told you not. I told you not to. I said, well, I didn't have an ending.
Yeah.
I mean, I used
It's
my
hard
elbow. I mean,
sometimes.
you got to be clever. You can't use your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard
These gloves
sometimes
don't
when
fit. The gloves don't fit.
you must have quit. Well, if the gloves don't fit, you must have quit. That proves that if it rhymes, you don't have to do the times. If it rhymes, no time.
No times.
No times. No times in jail for you. Did you ever meet OJ Simpson? He was in Vegas a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I knew him really well. Yeah. I mean, it was one of those interesting things though, because for the longest time, everyone would say like, I see OJ every day, and I'm like, I'm out. I never seen OJ ever. And I'm like, how come I've not seen OJ? Not that I wanted to see him. I was just, why have I not seen him? He's everywhere I'm at, So I go to this restaurant he's always at one day, and I sit down, and sure enough, I just sit down and I look over, and I'm like, God dang, if it's not OJ, right next to me. And so I'm like, get my phone out. He's talking to somebody, and he's playing his next murder, and I see this knife, on my thing. So it's like a hack joke, right? Everybody does this. So I have my camera, and I go, I said, I'm sitting next to OJ. So I'm going to put this away. And I put it on my Instagram, right? And it was really funny. 5 minutes after I post it, right? I'm like, only in Vegas, fucking OJ did it. This guy comes in, who's his best friend. His name is Scott, like me. He says, hey, Juice, hey, Joe, OJ. And he sees me. He's like, Scott. I say, hey. And he's like, OJ, Carrot Top? And I go, no, hey. And he goes, hey, how are you doing? And I said, great. He says, you got to follow his Instagram. His stuff is so good. And I'm like, oh, fuck, delete. Did you fucking delete?
Did you get it off in time?
Seconds after I did, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Jesus,
you got to follow his Instagram.
crazy.
Just take that one off real quick. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of followers on Instagram? Do you have a lot of people following you?
1 billion people.
1 billion. That's great. Congratulations.
I'm the best. No, I have followers. I have a lot. I mean, compared to some, no, I don't have millions because I don't show my boobies. But if I start showing my boobs, I think we could get that number up.
Well, you that's your OnlyFans account. I also have people that do that for me too.
I do have that. Yeah, you're nice.
I don't do my own OnlyFans anymore. There was I remember, God, who was it used to do this bit? Bernie Mac used to do Bernie used to do that. This great baby. I'm tired of fucking. Do you remember that?
No, but it's good already.
Oh, fucking hilarious. He was great.
Yeah, no.
Did you ever run into Bernie?
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
Yeah, he was fabulous. I'm just trying to think of the guys that I remember from playing in Vegas back in the day. Bernie was up there. He was amazing.
Yeah, Bernie Mac.
Who's playing there now apart from you, obviously? You're like the Celine Dion, except you're not Celine Dion, but you know what I mean? You're like a Vegas thing now.
I like that. I'm like the Celine Dion of the no, because you're right, because of the longevity I've been here, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of stand-up comics here anymore, which is interesting. A lot of the shows are besides the Cirque shows and what there used to be like Amazing Jonathan. There's not. Yeah, Penn and Teller is still here.
Okay.
Comedy Magic. There's not. I don't think there's another actual stand-up comedian.
No, probably not. I mean, I don't know. It's so long since I've been there.
You got there used to be George Wallace. There used to be these stand-ups that were there.
George Wallace, that was a great best 10 p.m. show. That was a great show.
I would love telling George that. I said, George, it's only the best 10 because it's the only 10 p.m. show. It's not the best.
That's right. It's like it was on all the bus ads and stuff. Best 10 p.m. show. I remember saying at the time, are there a lot of shows on at 10 p.m.?
No, there's no other shows at 10. It was the only show. That's why it was good.
How long did George run? That was a long time, right? He was there for a long time.
Yeah, he was there for a good 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, I think. Are you the record holder then? 20 years for a comedian? It's got to be close.
I think for a comedian at the same hotel.
Right.
I think
apart from that time you worked in Hooters for a little bit.
Hooters, and then after that, so that should still count.
I can't believe I remembered it as you were being in Hooters, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, no, we went to Hooters. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was right across the street. I mean, you couldn't. It was so convenient.
It was the Hooters Casino. That's right. Because I remember literally. I was like, we have to go and look at this place.
We have to go. Yes.
Yeah. And it was sad. It was a sad place. It's not there anymore, is it?
I don't. God, you know what? I don't think so. I think it's called something else now. Knockers or.
No, do you have your own, like when Wayne Newton did a long time in Vegas? He had his own little railway or something, or Liberace or something, or a little railway from his house all the way to his dressing room. You should get that.
They did?
Was like. Yeah, I think it was either Liberace or Wayne Newton, somebody that you could get. He could get on a little rail car and go straight to under his dressing room.
Oh wow! I got to get on this.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah,
because I don't know where your place is in Vegas, but if it's a long way from, I imagine it's a healthy enough distance from the MGM Grand. Yeah, you might want to get yourself a little, underground railway.
I think a little railway. There. I love that. Yeah. Now you got to get. Now I'm going to look into this because not for me, but I got to see if what you're saying is true because that's just amazing.
I feel like because you make so much of your own props and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that you could probably put together an underground railway. I think
think
you've got
so.
the
Yeah, I got this.
you got
I
the
got
skill.
this. Yeah.
Do you have any like penguins and stuff? Wayne Newton had penguins. Do you have any penguins?
No.
What the fuck, Scott? You gotta have some kind of eccentricity. You gotta have penguins or a llama or something.
Yeah. There was a guy here that
Nothing?
used to have a llama, at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that owns the shoe guy, whatever it was, he had it was like
The
Michael
shoe guy?
Jackson. Yeah, what the hell was that name of that? Yeah, all the Zappos.
Jimmy Choo? Jimmy Choo, the shoe guy.
The shoe guy.
Do you eat a llama? But you don't have a llama, you don't have penguins, you don't go crazy. You just work
I've
and
got this one horrible wig, and that's all I have.
is that a wig? That's not a wig, is it?
No, it's not a wig.
Yeah.
There's
I was gonna say it's long. Yeah, there's a lot
yeah,
of
it's
it.
long. Yep.
I was gonna say though, like usually red-haired guys go gray. You don't seem to have a single gray hair in your head.
I've got a few. They're in the back. Yeah, they're in the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're on my nuts. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if you noticed, I've gone a little gray.
I didn't want to say anything. Anything. Right when we first started, you popped up. I went, oh God.
It's like
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I was going to say, I don't mind having snow on the roof. It's the snow in the basement that causes me the problems.
Exactly. No, you have a very, now this is, I'm seriously complimenting you on this. So there's people that gray, like they call that what? Peppered, right? Hair?
Salt and pepper, yep.
But there's a lot of guys I'll see on the news and whatnot. They don't get that. Some people have just great salt, pepper, gray, looks great on them. And then you get that one that's like yellowy gray.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good. You have a very nice, it looks like.
Do you know the secret? I'll tell you the secret.
What is it? Wait, let me zoom in.
It's Brill cream.
Oh.
Brill cream. Brill cream. It's like this old tiny hair thing, and
the old fucks put it in. Yeah,
that's Brill cream. If
you look
good,
like Michael Douglas, and I mean that in a complimentary way.
Fuck you,
right?
Michael Douglas is like 85 years old.
No, like a younger Michael Douglas.
Oh, like little Mikey Douglas. Is that what you mean?
Mikey Douglas, yeah. When he was on, Streets of San Francisco.
The Streets of San Francisco. That was a great show. Him and Carl Malden. I remember that show.
Yeah, Carl Malden.
Yeah. He was hilarious.
He was
apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Listen, Scott, we're out of time. But I do want to say this. And I want to say this to anyone who's listening. And I always say this when I'm talking about you have to see this guy live. No. You are one of the best live comics, the live shows I have ever seen and will ever see, I think. I challenge anyone to go to your show and not laugh. Oh, I just challenge. It's fucking hilarious. Because I went in, I think as well, when I first saw you, I went in with a little bit of resistance.
I'm sure they all
I think that helps because then your expectations are like, he's not going to make me laugh. Then you feel better when you do laugh. And then when you give into it, it's like, oh.
It's so true, though. You know how many times people say that to me, like every night.
Oh.
If I have a meet and greet or before the show, if there's a meet before, they say things that are odd, right? And you just laugh at it.
Yeah.
But if it's after, they'll always say, and you know what? I got to be honest. We didn't want to come, did we? No, we did not want to come. We didn't. He really didn't want it, right? And you're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest. We've never been a fan of yours ever, but that was good. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Like,
What I get at the meet and greet
before the show,
I don't like you, but my mother who's dead now loved you.
Yeah.
My mother loved you, so I thought to honor her memory, I would come and see you.
That's
I don't really care for you.
I'm not a fan. My mom loved you, but I'm not really an honor of my mom. I'm not going to see. Yeah, you get all that. I have one on the plane yesterday. He says, "Man, you look good now." I'm like, "What do you mean now? What is that? What does that mean? You look good now. You mean I look good now?
What did you look like then?"
I didn't know what I said. But what reference point are you talking about? You look good. You look healthy. I'm like, did I not look? You didn't look good. You didn't look good.
No, you do look healthy. You do look good. And more power to you. I really wish I could be in Vegas to see you, but I've got a feeling you'll be there for another 20 years. So I'll get around to it.
Yeah, I hope so. And I wish I could be there in New England to put the Brill cream in your hair. But
oh my God, New England, Brill cream, the sun is shining. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Now you live
It's
there.
like Vegas, but with moisture and no casinos.
Yeah. You live there. You live there.
I spend a lot of time here, yeah, in New England. Yeah, I love it.
But you're
Yeah,
not.
I love it.
So one of your homes.
It's one of my many homes.
One of your
throughout
many homes. Yes.
One of my many homes up and down the eastern seaboard of the United States.
I love that. I love when you see a neighbor in Florida. He's a billionaire, and he's building this house that's like 50,000 square feet, literally, biggest house in Florida. And people say, "You know them, right?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "They're really nice people." And they said, "Why would they spend all that money on one house?" And I said, "Because they have 9 of them."
Yeah.
And they're like, they go,
yeah.
"They do?" And I go, "Yeah, they have one in Aspen that's twice that size. They have one in, and, you know what I mean? They got one in Hawaii, they got one in France, they got one in Rome, they got one in Paris." I'm like, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it's just another home to them.
Yeah, just to that. I'm
For
not
them.
like that.
But I
Scott,
love that. Like,
that's not
Jesus,
what's happening here.
Why would you have a Lamborghini? You could get 10 cars of that. He has 30 of them.
He has 1,000 cars. Yeah, you can get another car. You can get, it must be like 10 Ford Explorers for a Lamborghini.
Brand new. I always loved that. Even as a kid, I used to do that when I was a kid because our neighbor had a Mercedes, and I just think you could buy 4 Cutlasses or 5 Cutlass Supremes. Why would you just get 5 Cutlass Supremes instead of one stupid car?
It's a fair point. Get out of here. More power to you. It's great to talk to you. I am and remain a fan and your friend. Thanks, pal. Look after your lips. There you go.
I'm giving you a big wet kiss.
Okay.
Thank you. I love you, Bubby. Thanks. Stay in touch. Stay in touch.
Stay in touch.
Stay in touch.
Bye.